Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
Ball squad, shoot for the skill shot, it's a house ball. Ball squad, shoot the green like a mock jackpot. Mike is the simulator, Mel is the zen. Show with the milky voice, Stemage the U-Buffet. Ball squad, with a ball squad.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. We have a fun show lined up. Joining me at the start of the show, we've got Grant Henry on. Grant, how are you doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Talk pin.
Indeed.
All about it.
As people could hear from the intro music, it is Ball Squad time. We have pinball to discuss. And coming in from Zen Studios, Ákos Szabó is here. Ákos, how are you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm really good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you on the show. Normally we have Mel joining us, but he's been crazy busy because Zen is crazy busy. And he introduced us, and you are here to join us. So tell us a bit about who you are and what you do with Zen.
Okay. Mal is always busy. And you were right. I was just thinking about how much project and things we did in the last couple of months. So yeah, Zen is always busy, which is actually a really good thing in this climate, to be honest with you.
Very much.
But basically, I'm with Zen for 10 years now. Pretty much. I started as a quality assurance guy. I actually was testing pinball tables. My first one was Bob's Burgers. It's pretty much the table which introduced the pinball to me, actually. I never was a really big fan before that. So it was the first experience. Later on, I joined the team of Operencia. It was our first Unreal-based RPG, what we did at Zen, and I became the producer of the game. Pretty much we released Operencia, and then we did the VR version of it. And like a couple of months later, a new pinball project came up, and there was nothing really there for RPG at that moment. Actually, another team was working on Circus Electric by the time. So I pretty much joined the pinball squad, because I don't know if you're aware of that, but we used to have different teams at Zen. A couple of guys were doing RPGs or small games or mobile, and the majority of Zen was obviously always working on pinball. So I joined the pinball side of Zen, and my first pinball game I produced was Star Wars Pinball VR, which I think it was introduced in 2021. It was on Quest and Steam VR and PSVR, pretty much all the VR devices we have back then. And as soon as we finished with Star Wars Pinball, we started to working on the new Pinball FX, which was a really long journey. It actually started, I think it was in the summer of 2021, something like that.
Wow. Long journey. Really long journey.
Yeah, it was a long journey for many reasons, actually, especially for changing to Unreal Engine from our own. So yeah, it was a long and a bit rocky journey, but I think we're slowly getting there. So that's me pretty much at the moment, working on our flagship pinball game, Pinball FX.
And you're kind of a celebrity over there. You have your own show. You get to host the Pinball Bites.
That's another Ákos. That's McLovin.
Oh, that's McLovin. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that the producer over there was actually also doing the Pinball Bites. So my mistake.
I would love to do that.
You are the busiest person if you're doing both those things.
I'm making sure that Ákos has something to talk about, actually. But he's
right.
the one. He's our marketing manager, and he's the one who is leading the Pinball Bites.
Gotcha.
You are on the recent episode, though, aren't you? The most recent?
Yes.
Yep.
I was when we are pretty much introduced Pinball FX 2.0. It's like we have to call it in-house with the new features and the new upgrades and the visual things. So yeah, it was a guest on our own show for a couple of minutes, actually.
Well deserved.
Seems like a good point to bring it up. Pinball FX 2.0. What's going on with that? Tell us about all the changes, all the drastic improvements that have been done to the game. What happened from 1.0 to 2.0? What's going on there?
Oh yeah, it was, like I said, it was a really long journey. As you remember, we released Pinball FX on Epic in 2022, and we had a full platform launch in 2023 in April. So pretty much it was like our first year anniversary on all platforms on Pinball FX, and we really felt like that we wanted to do something like a bit drastic changes in the game, like freshening up a bit. Our main goal was always to have a live service game and update it as frequently as we can, with having a strong backend and feature list. So pretty much our idea was to give a new pinhole, to freshen it up a bit. I don't know if you had the chance to check it out since last week, but it's basically a new retro Japanese neon style loaf with a big window, and it's like a completely new and fresh look compared to that old pinhole we have. We also remastered the music, which is pretty much the same, but it has a nice modern, more authentic vibe. And the biggest changes were actually about the user experience. We weren't quite happy about a couple of things, how we implemented it before, because I don't think that people sometimes realize that how complex a pinball game is. I mean, working with, I think we have now 125 tables. Every table has, I think, 23 leaderboards each. So you can do the math. We have 560 collectibles in the game. We're running events and grand tournaments and giving out prizes and try to update the game with the new content in a through 3-4 months period of time, which means that we have to release new patches and introduce the new tables, do all the marketing stuff, and all that arrangements with the IP holders, that everything is spot on by the release, starting from legal lines until every single asset you see in the game, especially with to be recent with Universal, every single picture, every single asset, every single character you see in the game have to be approved by Universal itself.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it was quite busy, and we introduced two major. I would like to say major, but usually it should have been in the game for a while now. But I think I'm just happy it's finally there. The experience bar, the X-Space system. So pretty much you have some meaning to play with the tables and collect X-Space and level up like you do on many games these days. Obviously, it's just like the beginning with this system. We really wanted to have the fundamentals ready, that we can build on it with new features and whatever we have, our designers have that in mind for the next releases. And we really missed our notification system from our previous games, because I personally love that notification system, that I can finally see that some of my friends are playing on a new table, or they just that beat my score, and we just have a more social experience and get the players more engaged. So yeah, pretty much that's a small introduction of what we did, which is actually sounds like a small task, but it was quite a big one. Do all of that in like a 3 months time, because we pretty much have only a couple of months between patches to develop and introduce and test any features. So it's quite a fast schedule we do here at Zen.
Crazy turnaround.
Yes, it is, and if you would imagine that it's I think actually is like just like not a handful, but 10-12 people working on Pinball FX at the moment. It's even a bigger achievement, I think.
That's incredible. You introduced this Pinball M platform a while ago, which we thought it was very interesting that you would. We assume the reason for that is so you can sort of do whatever you want on a more mature table, but not have to affect the rating for, the Pinball FX platform. Might as well just take them all and make a new platform out of it. In your experience doing that, did you learn anything that you were able to kind of take back to the main platform? Like, is it something that is it that different than the Zen Pinball platform?
Pinball M is pretty much based on what we did in Pinball FX. With Unreal Engine, Pinball FX was our first major game what we developed and released. And Unreal Engine has its own learning curve. So we had some ups and downs with it. We still do, actually, but we're getting there. And it was a really interesting idea, in my opinion, to introduce like a part of the not to rebrand, but to obviously redo many things on the base of Pinball FX. And yeah, obviously you were right. The main reason we did this was the rating. It was just not possible to introduce these kind of tables with these kind of ratings to Pinball FX. It would have been to get the game out of many stores or just not to have the same ratings. But pretty much what we really learned that people really liked the customization part of Pinball M. That was the big takeaway. It pretty much the events and the daily challenges and the XP system was kind of introduced in Pinball M, which was quite popular. So we really wanted to make sure that we have that on Pinball FX as well. And it's just, the thing is that on the end of the day, you think it's a pinball game. One of is a pinball game, another one is also a pinball game, but it's a tremendous difference between two games, which one of them has only 8 titles, 8 tables. I think 8 it's at the moment, and another one is 120. It's much more complicated and it's much more complex. Just the navigation and if you just think about I think it's the really great addition, the play corners, what you have in Pinball M. They look so good. They massive, and you can upgrade them and customize them or whatever. It was a much, I wouldn't say easy, but it was a bit easier task to do that for 8 tables than we would have to do for 120. It's would take us forever.
I can imagine.
Seriously.
There's so many tables in the game. Like, how we just got 5 new tables. Recently we had the board game table pack before then, a bunch of other tables. Like, how do you guys decide which tables are coming next? I know there's a lot of complaints that there haven't been a Williams table in a while. Are any of those on the horizon? Like, what are the decision processes in determining what table's next?
This would be a great question for Mel. I try to do my best.
Call him up. Mel, where are you?
I try to do my best to explain as much as I can on my level. Obviously, first of all, it's pretty much like a business decision, and it's more about what kind of opportunities we have or what kind of IPs we have in mind. And it's pretty much all down to Mel, who is obviously sorting out all these relationships and contracts and everything with the IP holders, what we have in mind. It's pretty much, I think the first thing to do is to see what our capacity is for a year. Obviously, we are not able to release 120 tables a year. We need to make sure that how many slots we have, and then it's sometimes it's no point to release games. Tables too soon or too close to each other. So that also determines that how many patches and how many updates we can have in a year. And if we have that number, I think that's pretty much down to the opportunities. Mel usually brings many IPs, and our content team can also have a say about it. I don't know if you know that, but maybe it can be an interesting thing to tell our listeners that at Zen we actually have a content team. And the content team is responsible for all the tables. So imagine a team with designers and 3D and 2D artists who are actually and literally making the tables for every platform. And on the other side, we have the platform teams like myself and my team in Pinball FX, where we are responsible for the game itself. And the content team is pretty much responsible for the tables. So it's all down to the content team that how much capacity they have. And then we have to, measure that how many games we are trying to release a year. Because it's just to answer your question, I think we announced, actually Mel did, our last Pinball Bites, that I think 3 new Williams tables are coming this year. Mm-hmm. Cool. I obviously I can't tell you that which ones, but I think many people will be very happy about them. All I can say as a hint.
I've been waiting for Taxi so long. I love that table.
Noted. and also we announced that we are literally actually working on a mobile platform, a new mobile game, and a new VR game. So imagine to release 2 new games on 2, actually 3 or 4 more different platforms, meanwhile supporting Pinball AM and Pinball FX, and make sure that all of those platforms have enough content with obviously a fixed amount of people. So basically after we determine this one, or which table is coming to which platform, or usually most of them are coming to every platform, then the design team most of the time have the ability to choose which tables they want to do or which IP they want to do, and Mel is really great in that. He also asks them or us actually all the time that if we have any IP in our mind, just let him know, and he will try to do his best to get it. And from now on, from on that, it's pretty much just like how it's going to work out with the partners, legal things, contracts, timing, scheduling, and if everything comes together, then we have a table ready. But pretty much that's the process how we choosing the tables.
Can you you want to Joe? I got a question here about Williams.
Go for it.
Can you talk a little bit about the process for these of making one of these Williams tables? Are you sourcing an actual table somewhere? Perhaps are you finding one in Budapest? Are you getting someone to get these and you're scanning the artwork, rebuilding the models, and then obviously you have your brain that can pull code from the game and you have to attach it to the game. But can you talk just a little bit about it's a bit less, I assume there's some less creative processes that go on when you're just trying to port an existing game. And I'm curious to know what that looks like for the Williams stuff.
You were pretty much spot on. Basically, literally, this is what we do. We have a big office in Budapest, and we have a dedicated room now where we literally taking the tables apart to small pieces. We have I think 1 or 2 specialists who are literally can take a pinball table to pieces in a couple of hours and then put them back together. Wow. In the way it's unbelievable. You would think it's going to take days, but no, they're coming in, they know what to do, they're taking everything apart, making sure that everything is located in a right place and everything.
That sounds like a dying art form, man. I can't imagine there's still that many people who are that good at doing it.
No, they are not. No, they are not.
Impressive.
We are quite lucky for having the Pinball Museum in Budapest. They are a good resource for many tables, and obviously their expertise is also really, really much appreciated. They were helping us out many times in the past. Basically, if we have a Williams table in house, there's literally 2 ways to get them. One of them is if someone have it in Budapest. That's the easier way. The hardest one, if we have to locate it somewhere in the world, with more rare or more harder to get tables, it can be tricky. So actually it can also have an effect on when we are releasing a Williams table if we are literally can get one in time.
Right.
So this whole process takes a couple of weeks altogether. We are modeling and scanning and taking photographs and everything. I'm not completely on that technical side, but you can imagine that how it's done for every single part of the table and getting the digital version of it together. And yes, we do actually have a brain. His name is András, actually, and he's a really, really gifted coder who is the master of the ROM versions of those Williams tables. And pretty much he's the one who are taking the time and all the... I don't know how to say that, but you know what I mean. So it's like he is the one who actually understands what's happening inside the ROM and trying to make sure that it's compatible with our platform and it works as is intended. And to answer your last question, yes, it's not the most creative work for a pinball designer. They need to understand the table, need to understand the manual, and need to make sure that the table itself in the digital version works as it should in the physical version.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know you're not a part of that team directly, but do there happen to be any stories about a game that was particularly difficult to digitize, either because, maybe it wasn't in very good shape and needed a lot of Photoshop work, or it had other odd things in the code? Is there one table that stood out as being a bit more difficult to put on the platform?
Unfortunately, I can't really recall any particular table, but I remember that the learning curve how to do this was long. I mean, we had some issues with what kind of pictures to take, how to take them, how to digitalize them, where to start building up a table, where to put the parts. You have to pretty much imagine taking a pinball table apart and to make sure that every single last screw is on the right place when you are putting it together. So you have to be labeled and imagine, that's why we need a big room for that. So it was...
And I barely put my desk together. I'd be screwed with a pinball table.
Yeah. Trust me, same here. So yeah, it had its learning curve, but unfortunately, I'm not really sure we had any funny moments. I will check and maybe next time I come up with a good story about it.
Yeah. They're all different. I know they all have different board sets, which requires a different brain to be able to read the ROMs, and it's a fascinating process you're going through.
And it's really, really complicated sometimes to make sure they are working as intended. I mean, we have some bugs, unfortunately, still in the system, which András was working on. One of the bugs, I think we have it on Pinbot. And I think the board is getting stuck somewhere at the back of the table, and he literally spent 2 months, just 2 months just on this issue to locate it in the RAM, because it's not something related to Unreal or not something related to the physics of the game. It's literally a RAM bug. And unfortunately, we still couldn't find it, and it's really annoying. I mean, every single time we release a new patch, I can read our absolutely great community in our Discord channel that they are also disappointed again that we couldn't fix that bug. I wish it would be an easy task to do. We still we never give up. I'm not saying we never give up, but it can be really complicated. So yeah, basically Williams tables and real tables digitalization is always a lot harder than it actually looks.
Yeah.
Is there a certain Williams table that was just unbelievably difficult to obtain to digitize? I know you said rarity has an effect on what tables you can get. Is there like a ridiculously rare table that either you guys have released or are trying to release or hoping to release?
That's a great question. The thing is that our CEO, Zsolt Kigyősi, he's a massive pinball fan. One of the reason why he started Zen and started to do digital pinballs. And the my point with this is that he has some connections. I mean, some really, really good connections, and a quite good collection on its own. So usually, what we want to get, we usually get it. It also depends, like I said, that how long it's going to take and how difficult it is. But I'm not sure that we had any particular one. I think we even have an Indiana Jones in our office at the moment. I think it was even George's own table. So that even Indiana Jones was not so difficult to get for us.
That's great. That's great.
What is your dream IP to work with? I know we mentioned before that if there's an IP, just talk to Mel. Is there something that you would love to see come to Pinball FX?
Oh, that's a great question. Just a small a short story actually about how I was introduced to Pinball FX, because it was kind of related. I used to live in England before we moved back to Budapest, and when we were there, I didn't know Zen at all. Even though it was a Hungarian company, I have absolutely no idea who Zen were. But I was playing on my Xbox 360 all the time. And one of the forums had a post about a new Street Fighter pinball table. And I'm a massive Street Fighter fan. And I literally downloaded Pinball FX to my 360. I think it was Pinball FX 2. And I bought the table without even playing with it. I just bought it because it's Street Fighter. I need Street Fighter. And I love that table. And I can't wait to have it again in Pinball FX. Hopefully one day we can have it back.
There's a couple of tables that I really miss.
I know. My biggest one is Bethesda, the Bethesda pack. I really love Bethesda pack. I mean, I was actually, Doom was my last table I was working on as a quality assurance, and I really, really love Doom and also Fallout and Skyrim. I really miss that from Pinball FX. I hope that we can get that someday. I'm actually also a massive Formula One fan, so I would love to see a Formula One table.
Ooh,
actually, I think it would work really well. I mean, like Super League football is one of my favorite tables. I even played that on PFX2 back then, and I really like it right now that we have it back in Pinball FX. I think it's a great pinball table. Tom did it, and Tom is from England, and it's like he's a massive football fan, and you can tell. So basically, you can tell on that table that he knows everything about football. I mean, obviously soccer for you, I think. So a Formula One would be great. And I would love to see DC tables one day. I love DC tables. I love Batman, Superman. I love all the comics, and I'm a massive geek, so I love all of that. And I would love to see, next to the Marvel tables, a lovely collection of DC tables.
That's a good
pretty much.
Good answer. Yeah, I think there is an Indianapolis 500 Williams table, I believe. I think it's a Williams table. I may be mistaken, but that's a great. Racing always does well in pinball, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
We really liked the Super League football. It was great to see that come back. High hopes for Street Fighter. But there's a lot of tables in the legacy list, old tables, original IP. There's stuff there. It would be great to see that brought back. I think a lot of the rules for those are a bit more simple, and they played really well. And
what would you want back, Grant?
Oh, geez, let me look here.
Because I missed the FX table, the Fox pack with Bob's Burgers, Family Guy.
Yeah, there's some ones from the in the old original Pinball FX. I guess it was Zen Pinball back then.
Zen Pinball was on PlayStation. Pinball FX was on Xbox.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Zen Pinball was a PlayStation brand with pretty much the same content, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to look at these.
No, we're just going to sit in silence while you look.
You're just going to sit in silence while I look at tables?
Best feature in a podcast, just to sit in silence.
Exactly.
I know when we had Mel on quite a while ago, he accidentally kind of let slip that Bethesda might be worked on or might be in the pipeline. Is there any news on that? Or is that still something that is just, if it happens, and we'll see in the future?
Unfortunately, Joe is way above my pay grade to know anything about that. I would love to, but I hope so. We keep telling Mel.
Those were good tables.
They were really good.
Skyrim table. Oh, I would love to see those back. Hopefully, Microsoft
is an all-timer.
Hopefully, Microsoft will play ball.
No pun intended. Yeah, but I would love to see them. Actually, another. Just meanwhile we're waiting for Grant to. That I would love to see a Halo table. I mean, it would work really, really well, and actually like a Fable table or a Halo. Yeah, I used to be a big Xbox fan back in those days, and I love those IPs. I loved them actually on Xbox 360. So I would love to see them back on any platform. And obviously another thing is which I personally really love. So please, whoever listens, don't take it as granted. But I would die for some Nintendo tables. I mean, Mario, Zelda, Kirby. It would be awesome. I mean, I love my Switch and I love my Nintendo games on them, and that would be really, really good to do some tables for Nintendo one day.
That would be incredible. I have a feeling if that happened, it might be a Nintendo only release, though.
Look,
and I'll buy it anyway. I would, because that sounds amazing.
I think many people would buy those.
Kirby, I think Kirby table with Kirby as the ball.
Oh God! Or just eating the balls and then splitting them out.
Or a Metroid table, with a morph ball. Oh God!
Grant, you could do the music.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite childhood game was Super Metroid on Super Nintendo. Jesus Christ, I would do many things for a Metroid table.
I think the ones I'm looking at here, I didn't realize that there was the collection, that the older originals that had like Mars and Paranormal and Shaman, those are not actually available on the newest platform. Is that right?
I think so. Not yet.
Yeah, those are really, really good. I think Tesla was on there too. Those were pretty awesome.
Fucking yeah!
You did a Ninja Gaiden table too. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was another one I bought because I'm also a massive Ninja Gaiden fan. So I bought them with Street Fighter, and another table I really miss. And actually, it was made by the lead designer of Zen. Of Pinball FX and Zen Pinball. Unfortunately, he's now working somewhere else. But he did that table, and I loved it. It was Plants vs Zombies. You remember that table?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was a great table. I would love to have them. Have that on Pinball FX again.
I'll say one of the good things about owning a Series X is it has like all of the old games backward compatible. So I could fire up the first Pinball FX and still play it, which I love.
That's great.
Yeah. That's something else I love. BX Latino Heat just dropped a sub in chat. Thank you so much. Enjoy the emotes. Enjoy all the kitty cats. Injury dropped a sub earlier on before we went live, so I wanted to thank them as well. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the support. If you were just joining us, we are chatting with Ákos from Zen Studios. We are chatting all things pinball. Grant, what do you have you played with the new update yet? What do you think of it?
No, I haven't played the update. I didn't realize it was coming out so quickly. I thought it was a little later in the month, but it's already the 22nd. Yeah, it's here. So no, I'm really excited to
I've been playing tables that I've put a lot of time in already on FX. It keeps your progress that you've earned over the previous playtime, but for some reason you have to like play the table to activate all of your progress. So I played a table and I immediately gained like 3 levels.
Oh yeah, nice.
I mean the with the X-Space system.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much. What we did that we don't want you to lose any progress you made before. So if you if you already unlock some collectibles, some tables, and also had the achievement unlocked, if you just start up the game, start up the tables, like you said, you will gain all the experience from those.
I think I made it. I think I'm like level 11 or 12 now.
Good. You're getting there.
I'm getting there. Apparently someone's already level 100. I checked the achievement tracker on Xbox, and it says like 0.01% have this achievement. So apparently someone already has it.
Unbelievable. I think it's one of our testers. I hope so.
Probably, likely. Yeah. I'm really
what
curious.
level are you?
I think I'm somewhere about level 6-ish, 7-ish. As the problem with my retail account that I actually have a dev account. You know what I mean? So I'm playing. I'm not testing the game, but obviously I'm playing a lot. And to use the developer's build, I can't use my retail account on it. So I spent hundreds of hours at Pinball FX, but on my normal accounts it's just like a couple. So yeah.
I have a sort of a general question about the designing of these tables. You have your team that will design different tables, and I have to wonder what it's like there when you have the opportunity for a new IP to come along. Do you offer them to particular people because you know what they design like, or do you have meetings and say here's what we've got, and then have them throw them on the ground and have everyone sort of dive for them for the ones they want? How does it work for someone to get to work on a table that has an IP assigned to it?
It's pretty much depends on many things. So we have a designer team, obviously, with a design lead, and if they have a new IP, they usually have a meeting, like you said, about it, and they want to. If someone is really of a big fan of an IP and really keen on doing the table, that's a perfect match, because it's so much easier for that person to dive into that universe or dive into that table and all the design, and if he knows the characters and the story and everything about an IP, it's much easier to design a table. So usually that's the first step. If someone is really keen on it, usually we make it happen to make sure that that person gets it. But the other thing is that it's also about scheduling. So sometimes it's quite difficult if someone is already doing like one or two tables, like a normal table. I mean an original one and a Williams table, because it sometimes happens, and it's really difficult to get the third one. And pretty much after that, we're doing a GDD, like a game design documentation, where we are going where the designer's task is to put together everything he or she wants to put into the game, onto that table. I mean, what would be the modes? What would be the layout? What kind of animation we want on it? And it's all goes through like a leadership process. Even Mel usually get into it and have a read and decide together if it's a good match or it's not a good match, needs some refining, or it's good to go. And after that, we usually send this to the IP holder and agree on every detail or anything needs to be changed, and pretty much from on that we have the process going on. I mean, every single table is like a mini project where the designer is the project manager, and you have a 2D and a 3D artist working with you all day long, and you are putting together all the details on the table. How should it work? And then you obviously the animation team get involved. If we have to do a mock-up or for any characters, we just go into the studio. We have a mock-up room there, and we are pretty much doing our mock-up ourselves for the animations. If it's all done, then we have the different phases like alpha, beta, release candidate, and we pretty much release the game if everything is approved by the IP holder. So that's how we make a table in a short version.
Yeah, very cool.
Something that Grant and I talked about recently is a John Wick table came out that doesn't feature any guns on the cabinet because of, what was it, Universal's demand? Lionsgate demand. Have you ever run into any issues like that where you're not allowed to feature certain icons on the tables, or any weird restrictions that you've had to face putting tables together?
I can't really remember anything so serious restriction we had. It really, again, depends on the IP holder. Every single major or big company have different vision about how they want to, how they want their own IP to be represented. I mean, this can go to that level where they have a look at a gameplay footage and thumbs up until they really literally go through every single asset in the game, like really thorough. Just to get you on that. I mean, when we were doing Star Wars Pinball VR, we were working with LucasArts. I mean, Lucas Games. Sorry about that, the old habits. Lucas Games, and they are a fantastic partner to work with. Obviously, we have a long-term relationship with them. We had daily meetings. I mean, not daily. 2 weekly meetings. They were really, really helpful. A really quick turnaround. I loved working with them. And imagine that unfortunately, I'm not remember the name, but when we were doing the Mandalorian table and the Mandalorian assets for Star Wars Pinball VR, the main art director of the Mandalorian series was actually checking our assets for Star Wars Pinball VR to approve it.
Oh.
So it goes to the highest level. They are so protective about their IPs, which I think it's a good thing, because they always they strict about many things, but they are always open to to find a solution which works for all of us. So it really depends. Sometimes we are receiving documentation about what's the proper name of that documentation. It's pretty much, imagine an IP rules book. You can do that. Like you can't show the legs of Lara Croft. You know what I mean? So it's and you can't show the back of Kit in Knight Rider because of any legal things. And you have to obey all of that things before you create anything in the game. But another time it's just like they are happy to work with us. They have some creative ideas. They are happy to, check out what we do and happy to release the table. So it really depends on the partner.
Yeah, interesting.
That's pretty cool. So it takes a lot of work to get this shit done, huh?
Yes, it does.
The simple way of putting it. With System Shock, we saw the table release for Pinball FX and Pinball M. Can we expect to see more tables get dual releases like that?
It's a great question. I hope so. I mean, I think it went well in a way. It's really up to down to the business decisions up there that how successful it was. I'm not quite familiar with those data at the moment, to be honest with you. So I can't really say it's going to happen again or it's not going to happen ever. But if it was successful, it definitely going to happen. What do you think about it? Was it a good? I loved it. Deal?
I loved having 2 tables in 2 games for the price of 1. I loved it.
Yeah,
it bolstered the library in 2 games. So thumbs up from me.
Yeah, definitely.
Zen's been getting a lot of thumbs up for me. I think the only thumb in the middle I've had recently is the new update. The hi-hat in the music is a bit too loud for me. That's so literally my complaint. That's
interesting.
How hard do you have to dig for a complaint that your gripe is the hi-hat in the music?
Log it as a bug.
We will have a look.
Speaking of the business stuff, I know that you mentioned, and it was mentioned in the recent video that the coins are leaving in the game. Maybe it's too early to talk about what this means, but are you going back to just purchasing tables outright going forward, or are you able to speak to that at all?
Well, that's an interesting topic. If I don't know if you played with Pinball FX when we released on it's on Epic, in the early access stage.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, then you probably never saw that system we developed for a long time, and we were really happy with it. We literally had our own in-game shop where you bought the coins and you were buying the tables from our in-game shop, which would have introduced a system where if you buy the coins and you buy the tables from the game, then you would be able to use that table on every platform.
Right.
At the moment, if you purchase a DLC from PlayStation or for Xbox or for Steam, it's obviously that DLC purchase belongs to that platform. Yeah. It's not possible to use an Xbox DLC which is purchased on Xbox on a PlayStation at the moment. God knows, these days everything is changing. God knows it's going to change in the future, but at the moment it's really difficult. And we have that system in place to make sure that the players could do that without platform restrictions. It didn't go well. It's many reasons for that. Maybe our communication wasn't good enough, or the people just hate coins, or they didn't trust the system. The main thing with that was that you were able to get like 40-50% off from a purchase if you bought like 10-15 tables together. So on a player perspective, it was a really good system. But like I said, it didn't go well with our community. So we removed it, but we introduced the Pinball Pass. The Pinball Pass, the one you can actually buy for coins. So if you purchase some coins on any platform and you buy a Pinball Pass, you can play on a certain amount of table. I think it's almost 100 table right now. It's like a subscription. Right. Obviously, you are familiar with that. And removing the coins means that there will be no way to pay for the subscription and for Pinball Pass. So we are removing Pinball Pass as well, and the coins altogether from the game. And we are moving back to the original. You download the game, you try at a table, and you buy it from the platform store, and you play. We think that it both system has pros and cons. I'm not arguing with that, but it looks like that people are more trusted or more trusting in the old system, just buying the DLC and play with it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you would think the community might be the first ones to be into the idea with especially with the cross-platform stuff, but I guess it just didn't work out. I mean, people understand buying content from those platforms, and I guess that's where we are. But the Pinball Pass was very cool. It was a good attempt. But hey, if it didn't work, it didn't work. Yeah,
I love the concept as well. I mean, obviously, I have many subscriptions at home, like Netflix and Disney and whatever. So I like the concept, not paying for any movies individually and then just watch them. and now that when we, it's like game dev 101. When we introduced the Pinball Pass, it didn't go well. I mean, we had many people complaining about it, that they don't want that system. They want just to buy the tables. You can still buy the tables, but they still didn't want the system. Now that we are announced it, that we are removing it, now we are getting messages, why are you removing the Pinball
Right,
system?
Of course. Right.
Now it's the greatest feature in the game, and how dare you remove it?
Yeah. No, that's how it goes. Well, one other question. You guys have done a lot of non-pinball stuff in the past as well. You did, Dreadnautical not too long ago. You talked about Operencia, which was very cool. Are you able to speak to any other non-pinball activity? I know you guys are a lean team over there, but are there talks about something else not pinball related?
I not in the moment, to be honest with you. I mean, we really into pinball on every platform. We really literally have no capacity to do something different in the near future. The way I'm saying that, because you can never know.
Right.
I personally, and this obviously my personal opinion, that I would love to do that. I would love to do something different, something else, something like not even an RPG, but something else. I mean, back then when we started to pretty much using Unreal Engine, we had a team dedicated to make small games in like a 1 month time. You know, it's like a game jam kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And what they did, they were experiencing with Unreal, and they're really talented guys over there. They were part of Operencia and Circus Electric and many games we made in the past. And Operencia was actually one of the small projects which went so well that we did a big game from it. So I'm really open, and I really like this kind of creative, you know, freedom where we can experience and experiment with different genres and different games, because the expertise we have at Zen, because all the guys are now really good what they do, and I really do hope so that we will have the opportunity in the future to do something else than pinball. But at the moment we are pretty much focusing on our pinball platforms. Like I said, VR, mobile, and all the platforms as well. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and pinball's as big as it's ever been in the world. So you guys are doing the work, and we're really enjoying it. I have one more question, Joe, and then you can do what you want, close us out here. But I have a question here about. So Joe and I realized that I think it was just the Xbox demo had a demo of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in it like months ago. It was when Pinball M dropped. And I don't think you guys said anything about it. I don't remember anything being like announced that you could test this, you know, I don't know, alpha table. But was it the Xbox demo, Joe?
Yeah, it was the Xbox demo.
Yeah. Can you speak to what was this? Were you just intentionally sliding in a little something for people that were trying the demo out? Was this just a way to get some play time and get some metrics on the table? What's the story with that?
I think that was the main reason, to do that with the Pinball M demo. But you do know that we announced the table like 3 weeks ago, and it's coming and thing. And I think it's one of the best trailers we ever did. I really like the trailer. I mean, I'm not usually get goosebumps from pinball table trailers, but I think that Chainsaw trailer was quite, I mean, scary as much as a pinball table can be scary.
I love the table too. Man, when we played that demo, the both of us are talking about how it was probably the best table of the bunch, and it wasn't out yet. And we're like, when is it coming? And it's just around the corner now. What is it? June 6th?
June 6th. Yeah, coming shortly. They just keep coming. So
bring them on.
I think it was just like an experiment that to give something to the players who have the demo. Come on, because if you think about it, that is a quite nice opportunity to do the demo for this. I think it wasn't a summer fest, obviously, because it was in December. It had a name on the Microsoft, on the Xbox store. You know, it was like, it's some fest. They always do some fest about
they do
something.
Like demo festivals.
Demo fest. I think, something like that. And obviously the opportunity came up. We did 2 demos, and our main problem was that we are literally making a demo from a free-to-play game. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can pretty much download back then, even though that the Pinball M was out. So I think we released the demo in December, and I mean, the demo went out on December, and we released Pinball M in November. So you were actually able to download Pinball M, buy the tables, and play with it. And same with Pinball FX. But it was obviously for more visibility and for any marketing purposes. because we did that, and I think they really wanted to give something else. And it was a I think it was a good timing because one of the most important things with releasing tables to the public, if it's good enough, in a good enough state to release it, and usually it's never. Usually it's not done like a month before a release. Sometimes it happens, but it's not like, regular thing that if we are releasing a game, a new table in December, it's done in June. It's usually not the way. But I think Texas was in a really good state back then. So they decided to give something on to the pinball and players. But I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was great. We're looking forward to it.
Seeing a ball get chainsawed made my night. That game. So I can't wait for the full table. The full table, like you said, is coming June 6th. What else is in the future for Zen? What do we have to look forward to this year?
Well, new tables are coming. That's all I can say. For Pinball FX and the new platforms. Hopefully. I don't know when are they coming. Obviously, I'm not on those projects, but I really hope that they're coming soon. Because sometimes we do get that from our gamers users that we don't listen. We do. So we I'm actually on Discord all the time, listening and reading everything I get from our community, and we do listen that people really want some mobile game and the VR, because I know as a personal experience that Star Wars Pinball VR was a great game, because I'm not really I'm not really into VR because I'm getting like a sick quite fast from fast moving things in VR.
I'm the same. I'm with you.
I'm like 15 minutes and I'm done for that day. That's me. But pinball it's a great genre for VR because you are standing still and you can play and you can. I think it's a perfect match. We know that. All I can say that we know that, and we're working really hard to bring as many tables as possible to VR and as soon as possible. So it's going to be a quite busy year. Hopefully in every platform we're supporting at the moment.
Very cool. Well, I know we've been chatting for quite a while. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up?
I think we covered many parts of Pinball FX and Zen.
What's your favorite table in the building? You got machines in the building. What's your favorite machine that you have on?
We have the AC/DC table. I love that one. I really love that one because it's a rock and roll baby. So I really love the music and I really like the. I love the table. If I'm in the office, I'm always try to play with that. That's my favorite in the building, definitely. And like I said, I love the Super League football, and one of the hidden gems, I think, which I don't know how popular it is, but it's one of my favorite tables. Is the one of the Star Wars tables? Oh God, how late is it for me? Sorry, it's I can't remember that name. Unbelievable.
I mean, there are a lot of Star Wars tables.
It's from Episode 7. And it's not the one Ray's on it. It's another one, and it has a long name, and it's a great
Grant,
table.
you should know this.
I should, but I don't.
Grant, help me out.
Let's see. Is it the
First Order? The Might of the First Order.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, I love that table. I don't know if you ever tried it. It's a great table. Has a different another level underneath the play field, and you can play around with the balls underneath that. I love the table. I played way too much time on that.
I'm gonna have to check that one out after the show. I'm not sure if I've played that one or not. I own so many tables that it's a problem at this point. Not all of them. I'm working on it. I think I need 2 Star Wars tables. 3 Williams tables, and then the one big marble pack I didn't pick up yet. Gearbox.
Well, you got some
we have
XP to grind.
I do. I got my.
Yeah, we have a lot of.
Got my night cut out. My night's work cut out for me. Ákos, how can people keep up to date with you and what you're doing?
I'm pretty much available on Discord. If anyone wants to hit me up over there. I'm not really on any major social channel, not really do social media too much. I don't have time for that, to be honest with you. But if anybody wants to, have a chat or wants to talk or have any question or whatever about pinball, just join our Pinball FX Discord channel, and I'm usually there helping out our friends in the community.
Very cool. Well, Ákos, I want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Grant, I want to thank you for coming on, hanging out with me for this. Everyone else, stick around. We're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more show. We've got news and reviews to take care of with the usual gang of morons I'm stuck with. But, Ákos, thank you again for coming on and chatting with us. Do you have any final words to wrap up the interview?
It was a really nice chat. Really, thank you for having me. It was great to talk about a pinball once in a while, not just to work on it. Mm-hmm. So it was a great experience. Thank you for that, and I hope in the future we have another opportunity to talk about maybe about a new pinball game we do or anything interesting in the world of pinball. So thank you very much.
Ball squad. Just go for the skill shot, it's a house ball. Ball squad. Shoot the green, lock 'em up, jackpot. Mike is the simulator, Mel is the zen. Joe with the milky voice, Stemage the Uber fan. Woo! Ball squad. It's a ball squad. There you go.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Another big thanks to Ákos at Zen for coming on, and thanks to Grant for chatting with us. We got more show to take care of. Bree and Aki are here. How are you two doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm alive.
Just alive?
Yeah, just alive. My computer's being fucky. My brand new.
Oh no, what's going on with it?
I'm pretty sure one of the fans is crapping out.
Oh no.
Already? Yeah, I have 7 of them, and some of them I think are sets of 3 that are like one item, and some of them are individual ones. I don't know if this is an individual or one of the set ones, so it's a big pain in the ass. And I got it through Newegg, whose customer support is
subpar.
Well, they exist. Yeah.
Hey, Jacob's here.
Yeah, Jacob's here.
Hey.
I showed up on time. Yeah.
Nope, you're a minute late. We already started.
Bullshit. It's 9 o'clock.
It is 9:01.
No, it's 9:01.
No, it's not. It didn't turn until 9:01 until literally just now. I hopped in here at 9 o'clock.
According
Fuck
to
all y'all.
Windows.
I don't give a shit about your damn computer, Joe. It breaks half the time. How am I supposed to be able to trust the clock on your Windows?
Because
thing?
it's the same for
set
everyone's Windows.
automatically.
Shut up, Aki. Anyway, what'd you say, Joe?
I said you're a wiener.
Well, yeah, and you're also a bag of fuck snort.
Yeah. I think you broke Aki.
Listen here, fuck snort.
Yeah, there we go. We'll be hearing from him later on in the show, which is a fun little addition to this episode. We have an email review, and I'm like, my throat's been bothering me lately. Like, George, will you read this for me? He's like, hell yes. So
That's
we have that to look forward to in the final episode. How is everyone? How's everyone's week?
It's been a little stressful.
Everything okay?
Well, I took a week off, so of course life went on without me, and I came back to big piles of things to do. So just trying to catch up on game stuff and life stuff, and
Fair.
yeah.
Always fun.
And Jacob, what about you, pissy pants?
I mean, unemployment finally came through.
That's good.
Hey.
So, yay!
You don't have to starve.
I was able to pay bills.
Yay!
Fucking yeah!
Yeah. Other than that, like, not really a whole lot. I mean, I realized today when I was making pizza at dinner. Already told Joe about this, but I was making pizza at dinner, and I realized had I not reviewed the 2 games that he gave me last night, or agreed to review them, I wouldn't have been here tonight.
You had the games
son of a-
way longer than last night.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Like what? Yesterday afternoon?
Let me see.
If it makes you feel better,
Okay, yeah, you
it's
did
happened
get
to
them.
me too.
That's right. Yeah. Well, when you hear the reviews, you'll understand why he was able to do
I
it.
assume they're exactly like the ones that you usually give me. That the day beforehand, be like, "Can you get these for tomorrow?" I assume it's the exact same way.
It was either he did them tonight or he does like 4 games next week, and no one wants to hear him do 4 games.
Yeah, that's gross. I don't even
Yeah.
want to hear me do 4 of them.
And you're going to be on 3 this episode. That's gross too.
Ugh.
Wait, what? 3? Oh, right. Okay. I was confused. I was like, wait a second. I'm only talking about 2 of them, and then I remembered my kid and I are talking about one of them tomorrow. I mean,
Proud of you.
in this episode, don't look at
Proud
the
of
man
you.
behind the curtain. Anyway.
Hockey, how was your week? Besides the computer.
It's been pretty good. I managed to put together 2 more gunpla, and tomorrow I'm going to Mom's house to dog sit. So
Nice.
Is it a nice dog?
yes, it's Rusty Puppers. You guys have seen him in. I don't know if it was the Cats and Cute shit or if it was in my stuff, but he's a tiny little Pomchi mix. He's adorable and he's quiet, so it's great.
Nice.
Cool.
And
We
I'm gonna
demand
be
pictures.
Yes,
More
post
we'll get
more
some.
pictures in the Discord. Everyone
I
should
can
be
get
more
some.
active in the Discord.
I
We have a
agree.
Discord, by the way. Check out our Discord. Discord.
I ironically am
typing.
probably me and Doc Havoc. I think are the 2 most active people in there.
Thimber, too. Thimber posts a
Yeah.
lot of news. So we're
Yeah,
getting a lot
that-
of news for the show.
Yep, almost every piece of news comes from Thumber. So thank you, Thumber.
I know a lot of it beforehand, but, you know, he helps with a lot.
Mhm. If
Help
you
with a
say
lot.
so. So I'm gonna be going there, and I'm gonna be there for a little over a week. So until next Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, and I'm gonna bring some gunpla with me and build more gunpla probably.
Very cool.
I have a problem.
Yeah, we know.
Bought like $200 worth of gunpla last month too.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I don't even spend that much money on games.
Me neither. We can't afford to. We just had to drop like $400 today at the vet
Ooh.
on Potato.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How is Potato doing?
She seems to be okay. There was some irritation in her intestines that they gave us some medication to treat. They think some of it's behavioral and territorial. We're thinking that her and Simon are getting into it and arguing.
Mm.
Yeah. So we basically paid $400 to be told our cat's fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope Potato is fine.
Me too. She seemed to be okay. She was perking up when the vet was there. Like she's still hiding at home though. Like she's literally right now in the bathroom closet sleeping on top of a box.
Hmm.
She's
Okay then.
She's just hiding from everything, and I guess I don't know if it's Simon or if it's someone else torturing her, but she stays in
Yeah.
the bathroom a lot now.
That's sad.
Anyway, should we get into news? There's a good amount of news that we could talk about this week.
I have 2 things before we head into news, if you don't mind. One,
Yeah, sure.
I actually finally got to watch the Fallout TV show, and if you have not watched it and you're a fan at all in the slightest of Fallout, like I highly recommend it.
Okay. Good.
And secondly,
Good.
I actually listened to the recording of last week's show that I wasn't on,
I'm sorry.
and I I actually enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
But I'm kind of almost sad I wasn't there because you guys were talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley, and you were
Yep.
talking about Figment.
Yep.
And I was super excited because Figment's one of my favorite characters.
Well,
Oh.
you can now craft a popcorn bucket and I mean, the rumors are still flying that people think that Figment's going to get revealed at the end of Eternity Isle.
Well, I'm excited about Figment content. I mean, that might finally be the thing that drags me to Disney Dreamlight Valley.
A popcorn bucket.
No, just Figment in general. If there's more Figment content than that, like I might be there. I might be game.
Gotcha. So, do you hit up Shop Disney regularly to look?
No.
Okay. Okay. Because I heard a slight giggle, and I was just like, oh, okay, she does. But
No.
okay.
Who is Figment?
So Figment was originally a ride at Epcot at Disney Orlando, Disney World, and I know you guys were saying like nobody ever got to go there when they were kids or whatever. I happened to live in Orlando for a really long time, and I actually worked for the Mouse for a little bit, and I got to go to the parks all the time for free. But that was one of my favorite rides. Growing up, they actually changed the ride from the original, and they made a much more like animated. It's not nearly as cool as it used to be, but it's just like one of those like if you're a Disney Parks person, it's one of those characters. But yeah, he's really cool. He's a figment of your imagination, and it's all about that spark.
What are the odds that you had that story to tell on the one episode you weren't here?
I know, right? So sad.
Sounds about right, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta love it.
All right, I'm game for news now.
Everyone else ready for news?
Sure. Totally. Yeah. I have all the news. Yep.
Oh, do you? Why don't you start us off?
Well, you see, stuff has happened. And Joe, I think it's your turn.
Okay, that was a good segment. News with Aki.
Gave all the vital information, yo.
Yeah. Square Enix has come out and admitted that sales for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy XVI, and Foam Stars all failed to meet expectations. They weren't necessarily bad, but not what they wanted. They believe Final Fantasy XVI could still meet their original 18-month sales plan. Do you think it might happen with an Xbox release?
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe if the assholes released it on everything, they'd make more money because there's, I don't know, more fucking people who can buy it.
Yeah.
Square, just the leadership at Square is so fucking useless. And
They take that back from Sony and do exclusives.
Didn't we discuss this last week?
No.
It was the week before.
There was other like Square news recently, but this is a recent
their
conference
aggressive
call.
plan to that was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they also announced that they reorganized their development teams into 5 console teams and 1 smartphone team. Yeah, and then Dragon Quest XII still in development.
Okay.
Activision announced Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is the next Call of Duty, and we'll get a full reveal after the Xbox Game Showcase in June.
Yep.
No one's excited for Call of Duty?
No, not me.
I mean, like, I'm going to ask to review it as we get closer if they will give us a review copy, but I mean, I know I trounced Modern Warfare 3 pretty hard. I mean, but then again, just about everyone else did. I don't know. Like, I really wish Call of Duty would just get back to its roots and, like, we just have a kick-ass World War II shooter that tells a really fucking good story, like, based on actual events,
Good luck.
Haven't people shit on, like, lots of the most recent ones?
I mean, yeah, probably because it was popular too, but Modern Warfare 3 really took the cake on that one because essentially they were lazy and just took the multiplayer levels and then just made them the single player campaign and threw in a few objectives. So like you're essentially running back and forth all over the damn map just to create the idea of a single player experience. It wasn't good.
That sounds terrible.
It wasn't good. Yeah.
Well, something that might be good. Nintendo is acquiring Shiver Entertainment from Embracer. Shiver worked on the Switch ports for Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 was pretty pretty hated on for the visuals, but Hogwarts I've heard a lot of good about.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder.
Oh, good.
I'm curious as to like what Nintendo sees and like what they do.
Possibly the fact that they worked on Switch, Switch
I was going to
specific
say
ports.
like, yeah. I mean, I get that, but I mean, like, you got to wonder like what kind of stuff like it, Nintendo's like, yes, port this, like, that kind of stuff.
We'll find out. Nintendo doesn't.
Really?
Well, Nintendo doesn't acquire studios often, so
right.
I imagine something's going to come of this. IGN purchased the Gamer Network group of sites that include Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, GameIndustry.biz, and VG247. Then they laid off a whole bunch of people, including some who were at their jobs for over a decade.
Yeesh.
Fucking Christ.
Remember how IGN was reporting on all the layoffs, and they're like, oh, these people are horrible for doing layoffs. Then they did layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit.
So then what's happening to all those sites?
Who knows?
That sucks because like I still visit Eurogamer pretty regularly.
Maybe it'll just be business as usual. Maybe they'll consolidate some sites. Who knows?
I think it's just going to be gotten rid of.
I don't know.
Get rid of the competition by buying them out and then making them go away.
Well, we are still not owned by anyone. So if there's any buyers out there, feel free to hit me up.
I mean, you know what? I would actually be curious as to like find out what the worth of the podcast was.
Like $25.
Well, I mean,
I think
like,
that's kind of high, for sure.
It was like what, 2008, 2009 ish. I used to write for a movie website that was based over in the UK. And it was pretty interesting because they loved me because I was a resident Yankee, but I'd get movies that hadn't been released over in the UK yet. And so they looked amazing because this is before movie studios really coordinated worldwide releases. And so over in the UK, like for some reason, they'd have all like the news and the reviews before the actual English websites would. So we looked pretty friggin' like awesome with that. But for some weird reason, we kept getting all this traffic out of India. And at one point, some Indian telecom company actually like made an offer to Craig, who's the guy who ran it. And he would have made off with about $20,000 at the time of the buyout. And it was like a little shit. Like, make no bones about it. It's like we were not about to become titans of some sort of industry. It was a shit review website that like was a product of love. Like, it was not slated to become the next IGN or anything, but still, like, $20K, and we're like, nah, we're going to stay independent, like, blah, 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 blah. We've got our careers ahead of us. Craig gets married. I end up having kids. God only knows what the hell Dave went off to do. But it was like, within a year, the site was gone anyway. So, like, it's...
Should have taken the
that
payout.
money.
Yeah, we should have gotten the payout.
IGN, if you're listening, the SML
Joe will
podcast
take
at gmail.com.
Joe will take $5 and a McChicken.
I'd rather a McDouble. Jason Voorhees will be... Shut up. Jason Voorhees will be in Multiverses at relaunch as a new character. Agent Smith from The Matrix will come during the first season. They also discussed some of their rewards, but once they introduced 4 different currencies, I kind of checked out.
I checked out the moment I saw that it was a trailer for that game.
Is anyone else excited for Multiverses? Like, I don't understand why they have to have so many currencies. Why split?
Yeah, I don't
To
know.
make a bunch of money.
I think they're also giving a 1-season premium battle pass for people who played during the original beta or whatever you want to call that time period.
Yeah.
So if you were interested in it and you were in it, you're going to get your premium battle pass for that first season, which is kind of
And
cool.
Jason's included in that battle pass.
Nice.
As the very first reward. So basically, if you played the beta, you get Jason free. Kingdom Hearts franchise is finally hitting Steam on June 13th. Probably going to be full price too.
Yeah.
Yay, more people can play a game that makes no fucking sense.
Makes some sense.
No, it doesn't. Don't lie. That game
You know
is
that meme of
fucking
Charlie
gibberish.
Day from Always Sunny with all
Yes.
the crazy
Yes.
board behind that? Like, that's what I think of when people say that Kingdom Hearts makes sense.
Yes.
Just have a board, all these strings connecting story points and characters.
Yeah, basically. I love how every time someone's like, oh yeah, the story's really simple, and then they almost all of them link to the same video that explains it, and it's like a 4-hour fucking long video. I'm like, if it takes you that long to explain the fucking story of a game, then it is not simple anymore. Fuck off.
Oh,
You might as well just play the game.
Timber is saying apparently Morty is removed from multiverses. Rick and Morty. Weird.
Who voiced them?
I mean,
Could
they
be
still
why,
have
yeah.
Rick in the game.
Weird.
Who
And they got
voices
the new voice actor to record new lines too for the new characters. Hunt Showdown is dropping support for Xbox One and PS4 in August. The game will have a free Series and PS5 upgrade for current owners.
Yep.
Silence is deafening.
Sorry, I'm just looking up to find more information about like who voices Morty in multiverses to see if like maybe that was an issue. It's somebody named
no
Roz
one now.
Ryan. Well, yeah, I know, but the person who did it in the video game was named Roz Ryan. So I
I thought
don't.
they just used lines from the show.
Apparently not.
Maybe Morty's still coming. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
heard
Last
that.
bit of news I have is that Atari has acquired the Intellivision brand and rights to more than 200 games from Intellivision Entertainment, who will rebrand and allegedly continue working on the Amico console.
That is pretty cool.
Nifty,
So
I guess.
the longest running feud between Atari and Intellivision, the feud is over and Atari has won.
Mhm.
Oh
But I
boy,
like-
good
I think
job,
that-
guys.
Atari's been, trying to do things for game preservation and taking, some of these really old games and refreshing them. And I think that that's really cool. So they'll be able to do that for Intellivision now if they want.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes from this. Maybe we'll get a big collection like they did Atari 50.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that would be cool.
Yeah, that's the news I have. Bree, any news on your end?
Well, we already hit almost all the news I had other than outright games.
Oh, come on.
Aw. Is that the only thing you had, Jacob?
No, I mean I did have some news for.
Well, then
hockey,
she's taking
so-
it. Bree, tell us about
All
Outright
right.
Games.
Well, Outright Games has announced a partnership with Mattel, and they have 3 new games coming out from Barbie, Monster High, and Matchbox IPs.
Ooh,
So,
I'm excited.
yeah.
the Matchbox one could be pretty good.
Yeah.
Outright usually has pretty solid racing games.
Yeah, but
Basic,
they're
but
also-
solid.
That's the thing, though. Like they're solid for kids of that age. Like,
I'm hoping this one's geared towards a little bit of an older kids audience.
I mean, if it could be somewhere between Hot Wheels Unleashed and like the Paw Patrol racing game, honestly, if it could be somewhere in between there, I know my kids would really appreciate it because they love the idea of Hot Wheels Unleashed, but
it's
they
just
find
complicated.
it's way too much. Like
Yeah.
there's way too much going on. And my oldest navigates Forza Horizon 3 with no issue whatsoever. So I mean the fact that he's able to do Horizon 3 and not Hot Wheels Unleashed speaks quite a bit on how Milestone made that game. Personally, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to the Monster High game. Last year was essentially the game, my year of only chill games. Disney Dreamlight Valley, being the biggest one. But honestly, if this game plays anything like Rainbow High did last year, I'm all for it. And the Barbie title, I'm curious because I can't even remember the last time Barbie had a Xbox title. It's got to be early 360, right?
Probably.
Was there anything on 360?
Let's see.
I mean,
I remember Barbie Horse Adventures for original Xbox. Wasn't that?
I think so, and yeah, I forget.
Yeah, there's a 360 title, and that's all I see at a quick glance.
Yeah,
Damned.
so I mean, whew, holy crap.
On a related note, Horror Acolyte brought up Forever Entertainment going to be doing a Care Bears game.
I am
Are you
excited about that.
serious? Oh man, Bree and I are going to fight each other for that one.
Care Bear Stare, let's go.
I'm staring at my TV. I can't stare
I'm staring at chat. I'm staring at chat.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could also try to, draw something on my belly and then show it. Or
No.
Something. Everyone's like, oh, for the love of God, put on a shirt.
No.
Although that would be like the image for the thumbnail, right, for the show.
Oh God.
What would be your Care Bear like logo?
Oh God. Probably a middle finger.
With rainbows coming out. Come on.
Obviously, I mean, don't forget, like my Discord profile is a picture of Gritty with the words "fuck around and find out" around it, which is I got interviewed by Outright during my brand ambassador interview with that logo. I didn't realize that it was going to show, and so it was there during my whole entire interview with them. It still shows up on their Discord server, and they haven't said a single word to me. And I'm like, I'm still going to run with it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So you keep publicly talking about it, hoping they find out?
Yes. I mean, because what are they going to do at this point? Come at me, bro. They know they love me. But yeah. So back to the Outright game stuff. It is a multi-year agreement, so these 3 games aren't the only ones that are going to be happening. And of course, Outright wouldn't give any further details on the games. Oh, shoot! Another thing about Outright: the Ninja Turtles game that's coming out later this year is getting limited and collector's editions.
Yes.
Of course,
Yeah,
Xbox
collector's edition looks good.
Oh, it's sick. Joe, can you run down the list of stuff that it comes with?
Oh God! Why do you put me on the spot?
Because it's funny.
It's funny.
I don't. It's your news.
Jinx.
Why don't you have it pulled up?
Because only thing pulled up in my pants.
He's useless, that's why.
The deluxe edition includes an exclusive steel book, 4 pin badges, 4 keychains, and an art book, while the collector's edition includes a season pass, the pizza van statue, an LED sign, 5 pin badges, 4 patches, a mouse mat, a notebook, a pen, an art book, posters, sticker, and a collector's box. I noticed they don't mention the steel book in the collector's edition.
Curious. But it's also worth noting that this is also the first time that there's ever been a season pass for an Outright Games title. Now there have been bundles released before where you just get all of the DLC for like a slightly lower price, but this is the first time we've had a season pass or will have a season pass. So curious how that's going to turn out too.
Yeah.
Timber is asking about cost. The deluxe edition is $60. The collector's edition is $199. So bust out your wallet and get your pre-orders in, folks.
Yeah.
And Outright, if you're actually listening to
statue.
us, which we're going to ask God why, it would be nice if those brand ambassadors got a steep discount. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Or even just a drawing for like brand ambassadors to like get, a chance.
Ooh, that's a good suggestion too.
Yeah.
There's a sound I don't hear often. Victor just came in and donated $10. Pat, thank you so much.
Ooh.
Much appreciated. Thank you for the support. Don't know why you did it, but I love you for it. Hugs your way. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The sound effect is a really weird one, so I heard it go off. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't think we have it on the soundboard, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
There's a clip from a game Chris played. It's just like a ding and a yo ho ho ho. It's It caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So what else? What other news?
Was that to me or Bree?
To you.
Either.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if Bree was done.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. So because of the Outright Games talk, the only bit of news that I have, now I'm scrolling frantically to find it again, and this one will be of interest to Aki. Guess who is coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Season 4?
Gundam, both the RX-78-2 and maybe is Charzaku 2 would be my guess.
That is correct, along with Gundam Aerial.
Ooh, nice.
So
if only Call of Duty didn't suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's on. Oh wait, no, it's not on Game Pass.
Nope, not yet.
Sucks for
Maybe
you.
one day.
Yeah.
All right, I got nothing else.
Nothing else. That's all the news.
I mean, the Switch is losing Twitter integration.
I think we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Oh well.
Which whatever.
Yeah.
No loss. We just
Yeah,
dive into reviews then.
Let's do
Yeah,
this.
go for it.
Sure.
All right, let's get cracking. First game to talk about tonight is Paper Trail, developed and published by Newfangled Games. Released May 21st on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $19.99. Paper Trail is a top-down puzzle adventure about leaving home set in a foldable paper world. You play as Paige, a budding academic, leaving home for the first time to pursue her studies. On the journey, you learn to fold the world, merging two sides to solve puzzles, explore new areas, and uncover long-lost secrets. Bree, tell us about this one.
So yeah, we start out learning about Paige, who's just turned 18 and is interested in astrophysics and origami. And the intro serves as kind of a tutorial of how we can fold paper to make new scenes appear or scenes change. And she wants to leave home and create her own path, but her parents really want her to stay instead of going to university. And as the story unfolds, we find out some of why they might really want her to stay. I'll leave that bit of story for anyone playing the game. But it's a top-down view of the world. The art style looks like a mix of cut paper and animated watercolor. There's movement in all of the scenes, like in the swamp, there's blinking frogs, there's swaying reeds and moving water. There's just life everywhere you see. But it all just kind of looks like someone's animated, this watercolor world. It's really, really pretty. You move through the environment on obvious walkways, but you can fold the sides and the corners to reveal new paths as you progress through different areas. And there are 9 worlds to explore. You can see the sheet of paper that is your current puzzle, and then you can hold down a button to see what's on the reverse side. So by folding a corner, say, you might create a bridge that helps move your character further onto the main page. You might then fold the side and create another path that takes you to the exit of the page and on to the next one. But there are some other rules.
Looking at screenshots for this, it's just really trippy looking.
Yeah.
The folding mechanic looks really neat.
It's really cool. There are some other rules. You can't unfold a page until you remove the character or any puzzle pieces you might be moving. And you can't fold a fold. So if you fold like half of the paper, you can't fold from that half of the paper again until you unfold it. So just a few rules and other little tiny rules with interactable objects that you go through in each world, so they have different themes, different mechanics that you play on. Sometimes multiple folds are required to create patterns on the page, though. So you might have to fold up one corner a quarter of the way and another corner a quarter of the way to make a pattern on the page that unlocks like a rune that causes a big change, like opening a giant flower to cross a part of the swamp. Other times you might need to roll a ball onto a pressure plate to open a door, or match dominoes to connect paths, find a key to open a lock. And these are all things that you're going to go back and forth as you move across your page, folding and unfolding. And there's a lot of things that make a simple folding mechanic fresh and exciting as you progress. And that's just really well done. There are collectibles. You can find origami patterns in the world. Usually they're hidden on the back of the page, and you're going to find them. You have to find a special way to them. I would say that's the collectibles are really the challenge, or the extra challenge to the game. And there are multiple to find in each world. There is a chapter select to go back and help find those collectibles for achievements, which is nice. there is a hint system. It's pretty involved. It shows you the sequence of folds you need to do, but you'll still need to solve the other steps in between, like the issue of moving your balls around or the moving platforms and moving page. You'll have to figure out on your own, but it'll show you the folds that you need to make. There's
Jacob's
also
good at moving his balls around.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I wasn't going to make that joke. I was going to be respectful of Bree.
We were going to do that?
But I see that Joe, you know, just had to be a low down, you know, I don't know what I'm going to call
squad.
you.
But, you know, we
filthy
now
degenerate.
We have a sound
filthy
clip for that
degenerate.
now.
Thank you, Aki.
Thanks to our interview, we have a sound clip for that now.
Just eating the balls.
Ooh, awesome.
So anyway.
Yeah. Controls were fairly intuitive, and on a controller it felt like grabbing and pulling the paper. You use the right trigger and the right stick. So it had a good tactile feel, like you were folding the paper. You kind of, you know, you get to grab that edge or that corner and you move it yourself, and that just felt really good tactile feeling to it. The soundtrack was really good, kind of ethereal background music, just to like really just vibe to. And I think that's the overall thing about this game, I would say, is that there's no pressure, there's no time limits unless you're going for a speed run, which I think there is an achievement for that as well. But like the first time through, you just chill and enjoy the game. And I just think that that's fabulous. There's no music or anything that's urging you along. You can take all the time you want to explore the world, try different things, be creative with it. Also, there's story interludes at the beginning of each chapter, which were voice acted, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Just a little something to help draw you in and kind of complete the world, the feeling of the character, you know, reconnecting you to. So, yeah. If you enjoy visual spatial puzzles, this is a beautiful one to get into. I found the challenge level was really decent, but not impossible. It was a chill experience. The mechanics weren't original, but I felt like it had its own like vibe and artistic stamp put on it, which was good. If you like the gameplay of something like a fold apart, you might like this as well.
Sold.
This one seems to be a popular one. A lot of people have their eyes on this one. It clocks in at $20. Is it worth it?
Absolutely. And if you're on Steam right now, they're having a big cerebral puzzle like event through the end of the month, and there's a bunch of demos, and I know Paper Trail is one of the featured games, so you can go check it out there for the demo.
Very cool.
I think there might also be a demo on Xbox now that I think about it, so check it out.
It's also on sale for the next couple of days, so you buy it by the end of the weekend, you could save $2.
Nice.
All right, next up, System Shock, developed by Nightdive Studios, published by Prime Matter, released May 21st on Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5 for $39.99. Meet Shodan, the psychotic AI is taking control of Citadel Station, turn the crew into an army of cyborgs and mutants. She now plans to do the same to Earth. You must explore and battle your way through the depths of a space station gone to hell. Stop Shodan and avert humanity's destruction. Our friend Horror Acolyte wrote in a review of this one, and because I've been talking a lot and my throat's bothering me, our good friend George Norg is going to read it for us. So George, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Sit back and relax, rest your voice, and enjoy the full body massage as I narrate this for you. I should preface this review by saying that I have not played the original System Shock game, but I am a fan of the games that it inspired, such as BioShock and Prey from 2017. System Shock is a futuristic first-person action-adventure game, a remake of the 1994 classic. The game starts out in New Atlanta in the year 2072, with your typical cyberpunk cityscape, tall buildings reaching to the sky, flying cars, all drowned in a neon glow. You are quickly introduced to the Trioptimum Corporation, a megacorporation that appears to have heavy influence within the city. Trioptimum is celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Triop Citadel Station, its flagship research station, which specializes in robotic, genetic, and pharmacological research. You try to hack the Triop network to steal their research on a state-of-the-art neural upgrade, when you are swiftly interrupted by Triop security, who break into your apartment and take you into custody. They bring you to Edward Diego, vice president of the Triop Citadel Station, who is willing to make a deal with you. He gives you the option of performing a small task for him or leaving on something other than a shuttle. In exchange, he also generously offers to install the neural implant you were trying to steal. Who could pass up on such a deal, right? All you need to do is hack Shodan, the Triop Citadel Station AI, and remove its ethical constraints, which have been problematic as of late. After you succeed in your task, you are jabbed with a needle, immediately putting you to sleep. You wake up in the neurosurgery wing of the Citadel Station, but wait! You have the neural implant installed. This neural implant is presented in the form of the player's HUD, Inventory and Information Systems. After upgrading your implant with a map and multimedia data reader, you are contacted by Rebecca Lansing, counterterrorism consultant for Triop. She informs you of some critical situations that have erupted on the station, including a biological outbreak, a comms blackout which has left Shodan unresponsive, and the station mining laser is being charged for a strike on Earth. Who would have imagined removing the ethical constraints from an advanced AI could cause this? Rebecca says you should find a crew member named Nathan Darcy to help bring these situations under control, so you grab a useful-looking lead pipe and begin exploring the station. Shortly into your journey, you are introduced to Shodan, who appears as a neon green face present on the monitors of the station. She speaks in a digitized voice, preaching her plans to sanitize the station of its human stain and use the mining laser to purify the cities of Earth. Shodan's presence can be felt throughout the station, in the form of the various mechanical life forms she has patrolling the station and security cameras she uses to monitor you. The majority of the game will have you moving through Citadel Station floor by floor, collecting helpful items and equipment, destroying Shodan security measures and minions, collecting data disks containing information on the current state of Citadel Station, and completing key objectives to put a stop to Shodan's plans. Most of the story elements are fed to you through scripted dialogue at key locations and audio logs that can be found laying around the station. Some of these audio logs contain passwords and information that are critical to stopping Shodan, while others detail the station's descent into madness under Shodan's control. Early on in your journey, you learn that the research taking place at Citadel Station may have been slightly nefarious in nature, and Shodan has taken it upon herself to expand upon that research to suit her needs. The crewmates of the Citadel tried to fight back against Shodan, but many were captured and turned into cyborgs now under Shodan's control, with other residents of the station being transformed into violent mutants. Alongside these mutants and cyborgs, you will need to defend yourself from security robots, radioactive spores, and chimeras. There are also areas occupied by radioactive waste or other radioactive sources that will increase your radiation level. Your health will slowly deplete over time until your radiation level decreases back down to 0. Exploring these areas requires expending ammo or explosives to clear the waste, taking on large amounts of radiation and promptly healing yourself afterwards, or coming back later on when equipped with better environmental gear. It should be noted that this is a game of exploration, inventory management, and fairly methodical encounters. There is limited space to carry all your supplies and limited ammo to go with your weapons. Going in guns blazing to every encounter may put you in a precarious position if a more dangerous encounter is just around the corner, or you come back to a previously cleared area and Shodan has summoned new patrols to replace those that have fallen. Some areas may be guarded by powerful enemies that you don't quite have the tools to deal with, forcing you to come back when you are better equipped. You will pick up various weapons and utility items to aid in your survival. Melee weapons like the lead pipe and electric sword, projectile weapons like the submachine gun and pulse rifle, and throwables such as EMP and frag grenades. Each projectile weapon can be upgraded with single-use mod kits purchased throughout the station, or enhanced with secondary ammo types that generally increase the effectiveness of the weapon. You can also take advantage of Triop's pharmaceutical research by using single-use ointments that will give you temporary benefits like increased melee damage, stamina, or health, usually at the cost of a temporary side effect once the positive effects have worn off. Health items come in the form of medical ointments, first aid kits, and food. Some floors also house medical beds that will heal you to full health an unlimited number of times, free of charge. Certain pieces of gear require energy to use, like your energy sword and gravity boots. Gravity boots can be used to swiftly run away from enemies or to hover above the ground a short ways to ascend obstacles or cross longer gaps between high-up platforms. Your energy bar can be replenished for free via energy pylons on each floor or through consumable batteries. Most of these items can be found in the environment, looted through corpses or purchased through various vending machines. Unfortunately, money is scarce on the station, so you will need to earn your own by recycling. There are plenty of junk items that can be collected and sold at the nearest recycling station, earning yourself a handful of dollars. Sadly, all these junk items take up inventory space. To save some space, you can turn each item into scrap that will decrease the amount earned from it, but free up space for needed supplies. Fortunately, any item can be dropped and will remain in the environment. Just don't forget where you drop important items. While searching each floor, you will come across a good amount of locked doors. These can usually be unlocked with a passcode from an audio log, by solving a circuit puzzle, lowering the security of the current floor through the destruction of security cameras and nodes, or by entering cyberspace to hack your way in. Circuit puzzles are fairly simple and require solving a basic maze by rotating pieces or using trial and error to connect wires to specific nodes to achieve a desired energy output. If you are having trouble with a specific circuit puzzle, there is an item called the logic probe that will automatically allow you to bypass the puzzle. These are quite limited though, so use with caution. A few times throughout the game, you will have access to cyberspace to complete key objectives and open doorways. This shifts the perspective of the game to an almost DOS-era first-person 3D ship combat game, floating through the digital network disposing of hostile security programs by shooting them with bulky laser-type attacks. Combat encounters in cyberspace aren't overly challenging, and death only results in being booted from the system, forcing you to try again. Every facet of the game is meant to create an immersive, sim-like experience, struggling to survive a space research station under the control of a powerful AI with a god complex. System Shock succeeds in doing just that. Shoten is a very compelling antagonist. The voice actor for her does a fantastic job. Visually speaking, most things in the game look great at a distance. Up close, the textures become less defined, but not so much that it takes away from the experience, unless you are someone that is hyper-focused on game visuals. You never know what obstacles each area can bring. You may walk into one room and see androids turning people into cyborgs, human torsos cut open on the table with mechanical tubes sticking out, or walk down another hallway to be greeted by an invisible radioactive spore that appears when in close proximity and tries to douse you with radioactive fluids. Combat is slightly tactical, but fun and fair. Knowing which items to use in an encounter can help you make short work of your enemies. Pulling out your submachine gun loaded with alternative Teflon ammo for increased armor protection to rip through heavily armored enemies, or swapping to your energy sword to cut a semi-organic based lifeform in half. System Shock is pretty accessible to all skill levels. The game allows you to set individual difficulty options for several game elements, along with the ability to manually save the game at any time when not in combat. The game doesn't hold your hand. You will need to pay attention to audio logs to figure out solutions for some key objectives and where you should explore next, but there is a bit of player choice as to the order areas are explored. The only feature of the game that some may find annoying is the inventory management. It can be tedious going back and forth to the recycling station to turn in junk, especially later on in the game when your inventory is filled with useful equipment. It also doesn't help that the inventory system in Hotbar feels like it was optimized for PC and not a controller. All things considered, I think this game is an easy buy-it recommendation, unless you are looking for mind-blowing graphics or the inventory management system really bothers you. Then I would suggest looking into it a little more before making a final decision. We now return you to your regularly scheduled shenaniganry.
All right. Thank you, George. Back on track. The next game to talk about is Cat Pipes, developed by Tribus Games, published by Afil Games. Released May 23rd on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Windows Store for $4.99. Challenge your mind, rotate pieces, and help the cats. Bree, did you help the cats?
I helped the cats.
Yay. $5. What do you think? No.
So yeah, the core mechanics of the game involve rotating pipe pieces. The type of pipe, like a three-way, an elbow, or a straight pipe, stays static in its location, and the only thing you can do is change the direction they're facing. So we're connecting pipes to help cats reach safety. It's a pretty chill game, has increasing difficulty as the levels progress. You face more complicated pipe designs and a larger number of pipes to connect. There was a little bit of a disconnect, though, when I first started. There was this dot that connects blank spaces, and it was hard to see at first, which is to say that there are gaps in the pipes that you need to be concerned with connecting at a distance. And after I figured that out, I thought it was actually kind of neat. It was a neat way to look at the space. Controller movement is on the D-pad, which makes an amount of sense, but you have to move through available spaces and not the blank spaces, so that was a little frustrating every now and again to navigate to the space I wanted to rotate. Music was really chill. There was a nice backdrop you can change colors on. Easy achievements for people who care about that sort of thing.
Which we know a lot of people care about that stuff.
I mean, yeah. Overall, I enjoyed it. If you're up for a short, chill puzzle experience, I think, what did you say it was? $4.99?
It is $4.99 on Xbox, which gets you Xbox One and Series, and then $4.99 separately on the Windows Store if you want a Windows stack.
Even better. Yeah, I'd say go for it. It's I enjoyed it.
Get them both?
Yes.
Double the achievements?
Yeah, double the achievements.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, that's it for you, Bree. You're done early tonight.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah. Sailing?
I am sailing because it was the easy thing to do. Sometimes you just, that's why the ship is named the Winchester. What do we want to do? I don't know. You want to go to the Winchester? Yeah, sure, let's go to the Winchester. So. Things
going well with the new PlayStation players?
Yeah, we're, I'm getting invited to a party right now, as a matter of fact. It's kind of funny. I guess Lloyd told him I'm finishing up. But yeah, that's we're having pretty good success, like meshing all the things together and getting like the PlayStation stuff works, seamlessly as far as having the Lloyd on our crew playing from the PlayStation with the Xbox. So that's been good.
He's still fucking with people and having PlayStation sales and kicking everyone's ass.
We didn't do that on purpose, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
That a yes?
So, yes. No, we're just doing our own thing. We're just doing our own thing, I swear. We're friendly.
Till you piss you off, right?
Until they piss me off.
Steal a treasure chest.
Yeah, or whatever.
Shit's going down.
Speaking of treasure chests and stuff like that, Skull and Bones player base has dropped 90% since launch.
And news is over.
Yeah, they have the season 2. So
yeah, well, shut up. I'm still going to talk about it because we're talking about pirating shit, and Bree and I did pirating shit at one point. So more pirating shit.
Yeah, they had their season 2 starts soon. I don't know if it's coming with new achievements or not, but be curious to see what happens with that.
Yep.
Well, we will let you go so you can join your party and get your pirating on. So do you have any final words before we let you go?
Here, bear stare. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Next game, Terra Memoria, developed by La Moutarde, published by Dear Villagers, released March 27th on Series X and S for $19.99. With a steady step and a light spirit, your adventure starts to, wait a second, another crystal shortage? My train was canceled? Just my luck between that and the robots that are attacking us. Hey, since you're here, why don't you investigate all that? Yes, you're perfect fit for the mission. Go ahead, we're looking at you. Aki, they're looking at you. What's going on in Terra Memoria?
Well, first and foremost, they need to stop looking at me. That just needs to stop happening. And this
Care Bear stare right at you.
Oh God, no. So in this, you are on this planet, and it's filled with not just humans, but also with animal people. And you start off as this gigantic rhino guy who also happens to be a mage instead of like a warrior or something, which confused me so much at first. And you are helping protect this city from these monsters that are robots that are seemingly very pissed off for who knows what reason. Everything on this planet runs on these weird little crystals, except for these robots. They just woke up and they're working, and no one understands how or why. But there is a crystal shortage going on right now, which is why everyone needs to help everybody else, because everything is all fucked up, because all of technology runs on these crystals. So it's great! You want to use a phone? Requires crystals. Want to heat your house? Requires crystals. An elevator? You guessed it. Requires crystals. Great fun. You very quickly come across another person, in that you get switched over to this other person and play them for a little while. And it's a young fox girl who uses magic, a different type of magic. She summons a beast to attack for her. And the two of them end up getting in contact with each other, and they're like, well, let's go do stuff together, because the girl needs to find her family, and the guy, he just wants to help people, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, you slowly start, well, I say slowly, you very quickly actually build up the rest of your party. You end up with 6 people in your party. 3 of them can fight, and 3 of them are background characters, and while they're in the background, they attach to one of the other characters at random at the start of every battle, and they give them unique abilities.
Unique.
Like, yep. One of them can switch attacks into health instead. So basically you can heal instead of damaging enemies. Others allow you to switch your attack from a multi-attack to a singular attack, which makes it stronger, or the other direction, depending on what the attack is that you have, because you have up to 4 attacks for each character. Some of them are single target, some of them are multi-target. So the one character just allows you to switch them back and forth as you see fit. And the last one you get can change it to a random other element, which changes every round. And yeah, you fight against beasties out in the wild and against machines too, because machines are evil, and kill them hard. And yeah, every character has their own stuff that they want done. Not just the main 3 characters you get to fight as, but even the 3 background characters. Each one of them is looking for something, for the most part. So each one of them has their own little story and story arc that goes with them. All of the main characters get new abilities as the game continues. For instance, the big rhino guy, he can find these meditation points in the world, and once he meditates there, he gets a new ability.
Yay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The fox girl is a lot harder. You actually have to beat gem monsters in her homeland in order to claim their gem so she can summon them from the gem. And I've managed to get one of those so far out of, I think 6 or something. Yeah, they're very clearly made for specific levels. I'm level 20 something right now, and the second boss that I found was like a 32, and I was like, oh, jeez. Yeah, it took me like 4 rounds for all my characters to die.
Well, speaking of levels, let's talk about the mechanics of the game, because the store page mentions it's a little RPG with exploration, fighting, construction, puzzles. I see there's cooking in there. How much of there is like crafting in this? Because that kind of scares me off, but the rest of the game looks really cool.
There's not a lot of crafting. Some of the puzzle elements involve some crafting, but it's only crafting in that section, and there is exactly enough of those pieces that you find in the surrounding area that only exist for that puzzle, for its crafting. Other than that, you're also crafting things like pins, which are basically like your equipment, more or less, in this game. So they give you like, oh, this gives you extra fire damage, or this gives you more health, more speed, more defense, whatever. You can craft some of those, and those you just get parts from monsters, and those are used to craft those. And the last crafting bit of stuff is food. and you craft that food item once, and it permanently gives all of your main fighters a boost to their health. And then you can't craft it ever again. So you get a big old list of all the things you can craft, and as you're traveling around, you'll find these pews, basically, I think is what that's called, that you can walk up to, and it has a page for like a travel guide in it, and that page will give you some more not ingredients, god damn it, crafting recipes, as well as food crafting recipes. So you're constantly getting more of them in, and then you just have to kill the monsters to find the pieces. Some of them some of the ingredients you have to buy from stores, but when you're in the store, it'll tell you not only how many of this item you have in your inventory, but if it's required for one of the recipes you haven't made yet, it tells you how many of them are required to finish making all of the recipes in your inventory that you haven't made yet. So I always go in, and anytime I see, oh, and you need this many for recipes, I just buy them. I don't always have all the other non-bought ingredients, but then I know I have all the bought ingredients that I need, and I don't have to go back to the store, which is great. The problem with this concept is there's a lot of stuff you have to buy in the store, and that bitch is expensive. So expensive. Like, recently in the game, because I've been playing it while y'all have been talking, I walked in there, and in 3 items I spent over 3,000 of the money, which is what I had gotten in like a good chunk of the entire last area I was in. So it's expensive to buy the stuff that you need, but you can take your time and go through battles, because you can see the enemies on the screen in so much that there are little flames that move around, so you don't see the actual enemy itself, but you know where there's going to be a fight, and you can run into it. And it only takes a couple seconds for them to respawn, so you can sit there and farm it and just go travel a little circle and hit a whole bunch of enemies and just keep doing that. Yeah. You also level up in this game, which just gives you some extra base stats. However, you don't level up as you fight. Instead, you are basically banking all your experience, and then when you go to sleep, which you can just do, it's free, any campsite, every inn, they're all free, it's fantastic. You can go there and you can rest, and then you get all the XP that you bank goes in, and you can level up. Almost every time I level up, I get like 6 levels. So
you're breaking up really bad, Jacob. Is that are you hearing that, or is that just me?
I think it's just you.
Yeah, I think my internet's getting fucky.
Because
that's not.
Are you in storm area?
We might be.
I did earlier today.
Why
don't we just leave it alone?
Okay, go ahead.
Why
Yeah.
don't you eat my ass?
No, thank you. That's disgusting. So
I wipe.
not well enough.
So anyway,
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where I was. I apologize. What was the last thing I said?
I don't know. We got
you remember?
sidetracked. The game's $20. What do you think of it? Is it worth it?
I think it's really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, so I am very for that price. I think it's good. It'll probably be a 10-15 hour game by the time you finish it, would be my guess. So yeah, I'm 100% worth it.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, next up, Doug's Nightmare, developed by Undev Games and EastAsiasoft, published by EastAsiasoft, released May 22nd, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, for $5.99. Brawl with inner demons as a self-doubting banana in a wacky mix of twin-stick bullet hell and beat-em-up action. Jacob, what the hell is going on in Doug's Nightmare?
So Doug's Nightmare is the adventures of this banana that is dealing with a lot of like internal issues, a lot of anxiety issues and stuff, and he gets sucked into this like nightmare. I don't know, man. It tried being like a twin stick bullet hell and like I think it takes quite a bit from like Binding of Isaac and early Zelda games. But essentially, you're just this anthropomorphic banana who has to like beat up all these monsters and like just like you're stuck in each room until you've defeated all the monsters in there, and then you're either given a gift and you can go on your merry way, or the doors just open and that's it. Also, your abilities change depending on what you have equipped. Like you can, like initially you just start with your fists, but like you could find other stuff like guns, and you can find power-ups that are good until you finally die. And the other thing is that your anxiety comes out and will actually start to beat the shit out of you if you get too close to the monsters, and you're I forget what exactly they call it. It's just like you have this meter that like the more you run into monsters, then like it makes it go down, and if it goes down completely, then out pops your anxiety, which is just like a blackened banana, and you have to defeat it, and then it pops back and you have your meter again, and you just keep on fighting. Yeah, it's frustrating because I really enjoyed the character design of it, and like the idea is sound, okay, but it's just the gameplay just doesn't work as well as it should. Thankfully, they give you two options for difficulty, either easy or default. And you're supposed to play it on default, but they threw in easy, and I ended up needing it like pretty darn quick. I couldn't even make it past the first boss without getting it, so I threw that on. The game became more enjoyable, but again, it became more frustrating than fun, and on top of it just felt boring, because while the the enemy designs, they're very much inspired, but the gameplay, it's just like enemies come to like there isn't enough of them on the screen at the time, and they fire too slowly. Especially if you get into like the easy mode, but then it's like they're too difficult at hard, and it never feels like it tells you it's a bullet hell, and it obviously wants to be it. It never really quite feels like a bullet hell, and it's not flashy enough to be like a twin stick shooter, despite the fact that I'm given a gun in this game, and it's just the action just ends up being so slow and like monotonous, because again, you have to kill everything in every single room before you can advance, and so it's just like it's just a constant state of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, and like by the time that you get to the boss, you're just like, all right, whatever. Like, yeah, like I really wanted to like this game. I really did, and like there's some tweaks that I think that could make it a really worthwhile and fun game. But in its current state, I'm just going to give it a fuck it. Why not?
Not bad for $6, I guess.
Yeah, like it's definitely not the worst $5 game or $6 game I've ever played, but it's also not the best.
I mean, technically for the next 2 weeks, it is a $5 game. It's on sale for $4.79.
Well, that works. If you've got $5 to burn and you absolutely must buy a video game or defeat world hunger, I guess you could buy this game. You could.
All right. Next game, Cryptmaster, developed by Paul Hartley Williams and Akupara Games, published by Akupara Games, released May 9th on Steam for $24.99. Say anything in this bizarre dungeon adventure where words control everything. Fill in the blanks with text or voice to uncover lost abilities, embark on strange quests, and solve mind-bending riddles. Can you conquer the crypt and uncover the mystery at the heart of Cryptmaster? Aki, tell us about your time playing this one.
This is a little weird black and white adventure. You get woken up and you're a zombie. Woo! Congratulations on your new unlife. You are being talked to by the soul, I guess, of a necromancer. So, yay. He has risen you from the dead to do his bidding, and his bidding is, oh, would you look at that? There's something over there. Why don't we go over there real quick? And that is the story of this game, basically. It is...
That's it?
Yeah, that's a good chunk of the story right there is, oh look, what's over there? So you are trying to get out from the depths of this place because you are well underground in a dungeon and you're trying to get back to the surface somehow. And yeah, there's all sorts of different creatures here. Some of them are hostile, some of them aren't. And it goes so far as you can talk to rat people. And you can fight slimes and stuff. And it's interesting. This entire game, everything it does is based on typing. Except for moving and turning, because that would make the game take too long. So, yeah.
Up.
Yeah,
up,
exactly. That'd be horrific.
Left.
Turn left. So, yeah. It's not just typing what's above enemies' heads, which is kind of what I originally expected it to be. Because I've played other typing games, and usually if they have enemies coming at you, you just write whatever is said above the enemy's name, and it just insta-kills them. That is not the case with this game. Exactly. That is not what this game is. Instead, you unlock abilities for each of the 4 characters you play as. And as you figure out what their abilities are, you unlock them by typing them just out in wherever you are. Because it does give you some hints after you defeat enemies. You can pick a random letter from their name, and any letters you haven't figured out for the character's abilities, it'll fill for whatever their next ability is if that letter's in there to help you figure out what the word's supposed to be. And once you figure that out, you can type it, and it either unlocks ability or unlocks a memory for the character. As you unlock more memories, you can give your character an extra letter to their name. And the reason why that's important, other than making your character sound really fucking stupid, is because all of the letters in their name is also their health pool. So your first character starts off with 5 letters, I believe, in their name. So that means they can take 5 hits before they die. Most of your other characters have 3, so it's a lot. Each character has their own skills that you have to type. So your first character is a warrior. The second one, I think, is a thief, then a bard, and a sorceress, I guess. Your very first ability for each of them is free. You can type it, and they'll use it, and it doesn't cost anything. However, all of them after that cost a soul per letter that you type for their ability. So, for instance, one of the abilities I use pretty regularly is like the 3rd or 4th one that the thief unlocks, and it's murder. So that costs 6 souls to write in order to do damage to an enemy. Every enemy gives you some souls, but you can also find souls by finding bugs on walls and typing their names to catch them. And however many letters are in their name is how many souls you get for catching it. Later on, you can also use these to make potions and stuff. There's also a fishing game that is the exact same way. You type the name of the fish, they throw out a fishing line, and then you wait until the fish bites it, and then you catch it. Once you catch it, it is fully caught. You don't have to do any extra minigame. However, you also get a random letter within their name as well to fill out your character's abilities and stuff as well. So that's pretty cool. You can't fill out all the abilities and memories immediately. They are locked behind game progress. So, like, the first chapter, you only get access to the first 3 for each of them. And then in the second chapter, you get, like, a quarter or a third of the way through the entire list. And then you have chapters 3 and 4 as well to finish it off. This is not a short game. You're going to be playing this for a while. The main reason for that is the map sucks. Like, a lot. The main problem with it is you don't have an overall map. So the map only exists for the little area that you're actively in right that moment. Once you exit the door, the map you were just in might as well be gone. You have to go back to that room in order to see it. And that means it is very hard to figure out where the fuck you are. One, because the dungeons just get bigger and bigger and they get so complicated. And you're trying to find stuff throughout these areas because there's little skulls that you can talk to. Because again, Necromancer, of course you can. That give you a whole bunch of souls and stuff when you answer their little riddles. There's items to find around, like the fishing rod. You have to find that in the first fucking place. There's little side quests that you can get by talking to the random monster people that live in the dungeon. And then you have to go and find whatever they need you to find, and you don't have an overall map, so it makes it so hard to find anything and keep track of where you are. I don't like it. But yeah, combat's pretty fun. You have to figure out what moves you want to use, and you have to make sure you have the souls to use those damn moves, which isn't going to be too hard.
Oh, I gotta ask, how is the soundtrack? We gotta be transparent. Our friend Grant Henry, who was on the interview earlier, he worked on the game. He played guitar on the game, and he's the one who hooked us up with the review key. So we got to make sure that is well known. What do you think of the music? Is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. It's good background music.
Except the guitar work sucks.
Yeah, totally. The fucking worst. That's the pits, yo. No, it's pretty good. It works. It works real well as background music. You don't get tired of it, which is very nice, because I get tired of music pretty often in games, because lots of games, especially smaller games like this, usually have, like, if you're lucky, 2 or 3 tracks. If you're really, really lucky, most often it has 1. So the fact that I'm not getting tired of any of the music in this game, and it has more than just a single song, is fantastic.
Yeah, the soundtrack is on Steam for $10. It has 29 tracks on there, so a lot of music.
Yeah. The music, however, is based on location and, like, fighting and stuff. So, like, where I am, there might be a couple songs that it plays through, but it just keeps recycling those songs, which does wear on you after a while, especially if you're lost, like I am constantly in the game, because the map's terrible. That's really my only complaint, honestly, with this game, is the map is fucking god-awful. If I could just pull out and see the entire map everywhere I've been, this game would be so much more doable, and it'd be so fantastic, and I'd absolutely love it. But that is a very heavy drawback for this game, because it is just so large that you're like, I don't know if I've gone through this door anymore. So you can choose to go through it, but then you might be like, oh no, I have gone through here. And it's like, that sucks. I just want to know where everything is, so I can just get where I need to fucking go, instead of going in circles for like an hour, not realizing
beauty of dungeon crawlers, right?
Yeah.
Well, this one clocks in at $25. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's worth it. It's a pretty good game overall. Again, the only problem I have is just I would like an overall map so I can see where everything is. But for people who are really used to the old dungeon crawling games, they didn't have maps. They didn't have any map back in the day. So lots of people got used to drawing their own maps. I fucking hate doing that personally, but anyone who's going to play this game, if you like drawing maps, this is your fucking game, yo. Otherwise, this is really heavy comedy. So if you like funny games, this is a fucking hilarious game.
Nice.
Like, you can cuss in the game, and the necromancer gets angry at you for doing it. And he will eventually create a swear jar.
That's how quick did you earn that swear jar in the game?
I did it before I beat the first chapter.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I really like typing
boy.
shit, bitch, and fuck.
Shocker.
I did it a lot. Yeah.
Shocker.
He has different reactions based on which word you use too. It's fantastic. If you type shit, your character will fart even. It's great.
That is pretty beautiful. That's a good touch.
So, yeah. Go out there and cuss up, folks. Just have fun. Piss off the necromancer every chance you can.
Cool.
He's
Sounds
funny.
good. All right, next up is Kinduo 2 Frostbite, developed by Nibb Games, published by Ratalaika Games, released May 10th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $4.99. Kinduo 2 is a local co-op game where two elemental friends with unique abilities need to help each other overcome obstacles. Jacob, tell us about Kinduo 2 Frostbite.
So Kinduo 2, I'm going off what I could pick up because I never played the first one, so there could be a ton of story that I'm missing out on.
Yeah,
all right, you're allowed to laugh, whatever. Anyway,
it was a sprawling epic.
Thank you. It was an epic. Wait, my description or whatever. Anyway,
yes.
So Kinduo 2 is a puzzle platformer that follows the adventures of this little, one of them's like a little water dude and the other one's like a little fire dude. And as you progress through the games, like you learn about each of their abilities. Like the little ice guy can make a block of ice cubes, which you can use as creating steps to do to obviously get to higher places. And the fire guy, do either of you want to guess what the fire guy does? Anybody?
I'm guessing something to do with electricity.
So close. Unfortunately,
bananas.
The fire guy.
No, that was the other game.
That's actually true. That was my other game. So the fire guy has the ability to shoot out fireballs.
I call shenanigans.
I know you're all surprised, but anyway. And so what the fireball could do is, it could destroy some objects. It can melt any ice cube blocks that are getting in your character's way, which is then helpful because then the ice cube guy can then take that water and turn it into an ice cube later on or somewhere else. So you can make a new ice block to reach higher places. And sometimes you're going to need to combine the powers together, which the game shows you and how to do everything. But like early on, one of the ones that you'll use it for is that you'll kick an ice cube block into a potted plant. The fire guy melts it, and so it creates water. And then inside the pot, a plant grows up and creates like a huge vine, a la the old Mario games. And so you can climb that up to reach different platforms. And then make it to the exit doors and go to the next level. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like there is a co-op. You can play solo or co-op. Either one's fine. But yeah, it's fine. It's the art.
The $5 puzzle platformer.
Yeah. It's like the sprite art, isn't it's not groundbreaking. But it's solid. It's a solid title, especially for $5. There's plenty of fun to be had, and it's a pretty chill game too. So I'd recommend it.
Your official verdict at $5?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool, sounds good. All right, and one final game to talk about tonight is called My Little Pony: A Zephyr Heights Mystery, developed by Drakhar Studio, published by Outright Games, released May 17th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $39.99. Play as Sunny, Hitch, Izzy, Pip, Zip, or Misty and use special abilities to explore Zephyr Heights, a gleaming cloud kingdom full of exciting quests and collectibles. With the every pony working together, you can stop the unstable magic that's turning phones into pizzas, breaking gravity, and splashing color everywhere. Jacob, tell us about this one. You brought some backup for this one, yeah?
Yeah, I brought my youngest kid with me. You want to say hi?
Ah!
Buddy.
Jacob, you got to get closer.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm
Hi.
no more shouting like that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hi.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to have a quick discussion with Silas. Yeah, so it is a sequel to the previous My Little Pony game that Outright Games released, and in this one, you can play as one of 6 different ponies, some of which you get 2 from the start, but 4 of them you have to unlock by progressing through different levels. And it's a lot of fetch quests and occasionally a puzzle. Maybe like a little quick race, similar to the JoJo Siwa stuff, or like the Paw Patrol vehicle portions from the early Paw Patrol games. And yeah, it's just you running around 3 huge locations and just trying to help out all sorts of different ponies as you go back and forth and trying to save the day and learning that friendship is super important.
Because it is.
Agreed. Now, the gameplay for it is relatively simple. I mean, there's really... there are no enemies for you to fight, so it's a relaxed game, and really all you can do is just jump or use an action button. Each of the ponies has a specific action that they could do. Do you remember anybody's?
Hit your, her zip, her Izzy,
Well, no. What does Hitch do? Do you remember?
put 3 of them, put 3 of them, her glide, and and 3 of them ram. Actually, 4 of them ram.
Well, it's not so much RAM. A couple of them can do like a extra long jump where they kind of just soar through the air. Hitch is, I believe, the only guy in the group. Zip might be a guy. I can't really tell. Zip is Zip is a girl. Okay, all right. So I don't know any of these ponies. I watched Friendship is Magic with the kids, and now I'm not really all too sure about this current My Little Pony show. So I've got the kids correcting me on who does what, but 2 of them can kind of like soar for a limited amount of area. One of them bashes stuff in. Another one can make like little platforms appear temporarily. Another one helps ponies feel better. But yeah, it's just a lot of just trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B. The plot of the story is that there's all this like magic, abnormally happening, and it's screwing up everybody else's magic, and so all these normal items are turning into other things, and it's causing some ponies to be like stuck in like suspended animation in the air. But the game doesn't really focus that heavily on its own plot. And so honestly, I was about 4 hours in before I figured out what exactly they were trying to do with the actual storyline. And then you find out what the cause behind all of like the magic issues is, and you're like, oh. And then like you get to their ending solution, which honestly feels like it was ripped out of like the Bratz video game. And it's just kind of like, okay, this is how we're going to solve this. Like, it is not the best storyline from an Outright Games title, or pretty much like any licensed kid one. Like, it's honestly forgettable, but as I said, it's relaxing. Yeah.
I did enjoy some of the writing in the game, like in the very beginning. Like, it's not like anything weird is happening, and then you open the letter, something weird is happening.
Yeah.
Goofy jokes like that I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not like it's just there. Like I don't know. This one unfortunately doesn't really feel like it had like an actual story to tell. Like it was just, you get to run around as some of the ponies, and eventually we'll make it so you can use all 6 in these areas, but you have to slog through the rest of the thing just to get them. Like, yeah, there's unlockables that you can get as like your characters gather up coins and stuff like that around, but like none of it's crazy. None of it's like, I don't know. Like it's just not that exciting. It's I had higher hopes for this one. I think, and I was just. I mean, I don't want to use the term like let down, because it's not like I was personally like let down and it crushed my entire week.
It sounds like you were.
but yeah, it was.
You have that tone of voice of like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, because
I don't think I can agree with you on this. I think this one's pretty cute. I just felt like
it was I'm sorry, what?
I said I think this one's pretty cute. I think it's a charming game. It has fun mechanics to it. It's not overly complex, but it's there's enough collectibles to keep you going.
It is a lot of fetch quests.
It is
like an abnormal amount of fetch quests. Like I really hope that whoever gets this game really enjoys fetch quests, because you're going to be doing a lot in this. My other gripe with it is, I mean, like there were bugs that happened throughout the game, which, I mean, it's normal. It's a kid's game, and now like both that studio and Outright, like, they're pretty quick to respond to that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that those will get ironed out. Like there was nothing game breaking that I encountered. However, I will say I was playing on an Xbox Series Series X, and I noticed on the first day that my Xbox's fan was running like really hard while trying to play this game. And I did ask on the Outright Discord, hey, I'm playing on an Xbox Series X. Anybody else having this? And there was at least 1 or 2 other people who had also replied, like, yeah, I'm also playing it on a Series X, and it's also doing that. Interestingly enough, the Series S person was like, no, I'm fine. So I don't know what's up with that.
The ray tracing, I guess.
It's just, Outright. I mean, did they really have to upload like the graphics from Avatar to this game?
Did we need 8K 120 support on
My Little Pony? No, we did not. But yeah, it was just, it's there. I played it. I'm gonna go back and get 1,000% on it, or 100% on it, but I don't know. I wasn't thrilled with it like other previous Outright titles.
Silas, have any other thoughts on things?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah. Well, I don't really agree with Daddy. I
agree
with Mr. Joe.
You agree with Mr. Joe that you were having lots of fun with it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that's understandable. You are 6. You are ideally the target audience for this game. I am 39. Not exactly the target audience for this game. So
you're old.
Yeah, thank you. I'm old. Silas. All right. So you enjoyed it, but what did you enjoy about it?
Well, about the characters' powers and I'm glad that they. I don't really like how they did include the real villain.
The real villain?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the real villain from the show?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, who's causing it all? Like, you don't ever get to leave, like, Simple Heights for a long time.
Okay, so you wanted to go to other places and deal with other characters other than what? So, in other words, you wanted a different storyline.
Yeah, like you could go, you could go to Waterwood, you could go to Moutarde,
Okay,
you could also the final place you go is to a place, like in the wheel show that they actually go into a place.
Okay, so you feel like in the first game you got to go to more places than this one?
I just wanted to have more places you could go to, but I'm glad they put in her Sparky.
Okay, so you like Sparky?
Yeah, because I actually named a stuffy of mine Sparky.
Oh, okay. One of your millions of stuffies. That's good.
I like the game. What would you change about it? Everything.
But, yeah, I felt like I had something else that I was like kind of...
Daddy, may I leave?
Alright, is that all you wanted to say about the game?
Yes.
Okay, alright, off you go. God. The kids are... they've been playing Little Kitty Big City today. They have awesome... but yeah, so... I mean, there were some bugs.
You could get off speakerphone now, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could. Now I have to figure this out, so now everyone's stuck having to listen to me. Oh no, I don't know if it's going to let me split. Oh, there's audio output. Okay, alright, so I'm back. Alright, so... Anywho, but yeah, so plot errors or like glitches within the game and my Xbox running hot. I feel like there was one other thing that I was like kind of about with it, but the cutscenes. Like the characters' eyes, like nobody actually looks at each other. Like they're clearly using like in-game assets to have everyone talk to each other, but it was like it's almost like it was like a storyboarded version, and then they were like, "Oh no, this game's about to launch. Well, move their mouths." Okay, well, should we move their faces? No, we don't have time. We just move the mouths, and so it creates this like when everyone's talking to each other, if you're actually watching their faces, nobody looks at each other, and occasionally like the eyes go like kind of weird and wonky. With some of the characters, and it's just I don't know. I mean, I figure kids wouldn't notice it, but it was kind of distracting for me.
Well, the game clocks in at $39.99. What are your thoughts on this one?
Unless you're a diehard My Little Pony fan, or your kid is like huge into My Little Pony, I would recommend waiting for a sale. As I said, I just wasn't as big of a fan of this one as previous outright titles. And I really wish that there had been more to it than just simple fetch quests and a rather lackluster story.
Oh, well. Anyway, that is it for this episode. We made it through another one. Jacob, thanks for being here through the whole thing. Thanks to Aki and Bree for coming on, doing their thing. Big thanks again to Ákos from Zen Studios for coming on, and Grant for chatting ball talk with us, pinball talk. It was a good time. Music this episode, we are going to play a track from Cryptmaster from Surasshu featuring Grant, Stemage, Henry on guitar.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
That sounds okay.
So we'll listen to some more Grant. Or will the Marlins soar again?
God, I hope not. Is that now just going to be a threat to me every single time we end the podcast?
Yes, it will.